Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. My name is Suri Deitch, and I'm Dean of the Tulane School of Professional Advancement, or SoPA, as we call it. And again, we're really glad to welcome you to this informational webinar about our undergraduate programs, bachelor's degrees in a range of areas, and certificate programs. I'm joined by my colleagues, Sheila Gold, who oversees recruitment and admissions, and Hope Anderson, who works with her in that area as well. And then our colleague Ann Conlon is behind the scenes moving the slides. So I'm just on for a minute at the beginning to say, first of all, again, how much we appreciate your time this evening. And second of all, that at a time when thinking about going back to school is a really good idea. I mean, I think it always is. But right now, it's especially valuable because there's so many opportunities in the workplace. And we feel pretty strongly, and Hope will communicate to you during this webinar, that Tulane SoPA is a great place to do it. So thanks again. We look forward to getting to know you as part of the admissions process. And I'll hand things over to Sheila.
Thank you, Suri. We appreciate you being here. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is our webinar about our undergraduate programs. This is a general webinar. We do have program-specific webinars that we hope that you will also attend if you know what program you would like to apply to. But this webinar will give you some general information about our school, sort of the history of the school, what we offer. We'll talk a little bit about student support. Then I'll pass things over to Hope to talk to you about the admissions process, our application, and our tuition rates. And then we'll answer any questions that you may have. We are thrilled that you all are here tonight. And after this webinar, you will tomorrow receive a video, like an email with an attachment of the video. So if you have questions and you want to review it, or if you want to reach out to us, tomorrow or the next day, you'll be able to do that as well. All right, so a little bit about Tulane SoPA. SoPA is short for the School of Professional Advancement. And SoPA is one of 9 smaller schools that make up larger Tulane University. So Tulane University is made up of 9 smaller schools, one of which is Tulane SoPA. The university itself was founded in 1834 as a response to the yellow fever epidemic. And ironically enough, here we are in another, pandemic. So what's old is sort of new again. But what is important for you all to know in terms of SoPA's history is that the university was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. And then 50 years later, which is not very far after its founding, the very first iteration of SoPA was started with the intention of providing Tulane education to adults in New Orleans who wanted to go back to school, who were working, wanted to advance professionally, which is why we're the School of Professional Advancement. So this school has been part of the university for over 130 years, providing education to non-traditional learners, meaning folks that work and go to school, or maybe are starting their education after the traditional, like 18-year-old right out of high school start. So we've been doing that for a long time. We're very good at it. And we feel like we provide the flexibility that students need to be successful. So next slide, please. So we're going to touch on just a couple of topics that we think are important. Much of our undergraduate degree can be done online, and that does provide some flexibility to students. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. You do not have to take your degree online, but both options are offered. And we do a really good job at online. We have been in the online space for about 6 or 7 years. So we were online way before the pandemic. And we actually design our classes to be taught online. And we create opportunities for our students to do simulated projects, to do small group work. Students do have classes like we're doing right now, where you are in a Zoom room. They also have opportunities to meet their professors. So our online classes aren't just kind of flipping through a PowerPoint and turning in work. They're very interactive, and they're designed so that students have the ability to create relationships with each other and the faculty. So they're very, very different and very challenging to students. They're online classes, but I almost like to call it remote learning, because the experience feels very much like an in-class experience. It's just that you don't have to drive to campus. We'll talk a little bit about our programs and our faculty, our student support, which I feel like is a differentiator from a lot of schools. And then, like I said, we'll talk a little bit about our affordability. Of course, all of this is backed up by Tulane, the reputation of Tulane. So at the end of all of this, you get a Tulane degree, which we feel like has a lot of value in the marketplace and helps open doors so that our students get jobs. So just a little bit more about our online learning. What makes Tulane SoPA's online classes different than other schools is that we employ what we call instructional designers. And these are master's level educators who, instead of choosing to teach in the classroom, their specialty that they learned while they were getting their master's degree is in what's called instructional design. And that means that they're experts in learning how to take what is traditionally in the classroom instruction and translate it to the online space. So we employ a whole team of instructional designers that are thinking about the best way to build classes so that when our students take them online, they're engaged, they're building relationships, they have collaborative experiences, they have virtual simulations, and they are constantly interacting in a way that keeps them engaged and challenged. So you do have the ability to create relationships. You do have the ability to interact with your peers and your professor. Just some statistics, because I always like to, universities back up what they say with statistics. So we train our faculty to teach online. They're not just kind of like figuring out how to do it on their own. We've trained over 200 faculty members how to teach online, because the instruction is a little bit different. And so we want to make sure that our faculty are giving our students the highest level of instruction that they can. We've had over 14,000 students complete almost 32,000 hours of online work. So that's how we know that we're really good at this, because we've done it a lot. We've had a lot of practice, and our students they give us the feedback that they like the experience that we have. We've designed over 8 master's degrees, 19 certificates, 4 post-baccalaureate certificates, and well over 300 courses that our instructional designers have built specifically for the online space. So they are experts in this field, and our students feel it. They really benefit and they enjoy the classes. So just a little bit about our faculty. Another differentiator about SoPA versus other schools is that our professors are all what we call professors of practice. And what that means is our professors actually do in the real world what they teach in the classroom. So you're learning from people who are actually doing the work that they're teaching about. So for instance, Patricia Betancourt teaches in our paralegal studies program. She's a litigator, she's a lawyer. So she's a full-time lawyer, but she has chosen to also spend some of her time teaching in our program, so she can give that real world experience back to her students and tell you the skills that you need right now in real time to be able to be a paralegal. Bo Boudreau is a writing instructor, but he's a poet. He's a published poet. He writes and publishes all the time. And so when he talks about writing, he knows about writing because he does it professionally. Tyra Mitchell is in our kinesiology program. She's actually our assistant director of the program. She has her doctorate in physical therapy. She was the chief physical therapist at Ochsner, which is the largest medical system in the state of Louisiana. And my last example is Ralph Russo. He's the program director for our cyber and IT program. And Ralph is a former NYPD officer who, after 9/11, actually created their counterintelligence unit in NYPD. So he is chosen towards the back of his career to go into academia, but he teaches what he knows, and he hires professors who teach what they know. So our students find that they are learning real world applicable information so that when it comes time to apply for a job, they have the skills that they need and they can talk about it in interviews, and it ends up getting them jobs. All right, so the degrees that we offer at SoPA are a bachelor's degree in digital design, a bachelor's degree in digital marketing and communication, a bachelor of science in exercise science, a bachelor's degree in general legal studies, health and wellness, homeland security studies, a BA in humanities, which is a very broad based, almost create your own major in the humanities, which is like English, history. So a lot of those courses where you do reading and writing, those are the humanities. Art, history, those sorts of courses, a BS in IT, a BA in public relations, and then a BA in social sciences, which is always also really broad based, but it's the social sciences. So it's more like political science, sociology, psychology. You can take a cluster of different courses, the ones that you want to take, as long as they're a social science, and you can get your bachelor's degree. Next slide, please. So we also have what we call post-baccalaureate certificates and professional certificates. Post-baccalaureate certificates, you actually already have to have your bachelor's degree, but they are undergraduate courses. So these are for students who have their bachelor's degree but want to go back and get a specialty without getting a full master's degree. This is where folks who are interested in education would get a PBC in early childhood and secondary education. We also have graphic design, health and wellness, homeland security studies, interactive design, paralegal studies, which is American Bar Association approved. And so very well recognized by law schools if you then want to take that PBC, that post-baccalaureate certificate, and apply to law school. K through 12 special ed, and also teaching English learners. For students who maybe aren't ready to go and get a full bachelor's degree, but want to take some courses, you can get a professional certificate in accounting, advertising, applied business, digital media and marketing, human resources, public relations, and small business development. So that's a nice way to sort of dip your toe back into getting into school if you haven't been in school for a while, but if you're not quite ready to commit to the full bachelor's degree, you can get a certificate. Next, please. All right, so many of our applicants and our students have actually been working for many years, and they come to SoPA with a wealth of professional experience. So what we like to do is offer the ability for students to get credit for all that knowledge that they've gained through their years of working. If there's a course that you need to take towards your bachelor's degree, and you already have the knowledge that that course is going to teach you, you can do what's called credit for prior learning. You can submit a portfolio to your advisor. They will help you through a process where you demonstrate that you have the knowledge and that you meet the learning objectives of the course that you're required to take. And if you can do that, you don't have to take the course. And what's so nice about this is that you can do that up to 24 credits, which is essentially 8 classes, because each one of our classes is 3 credit hours. And that's a savings of time and of money. So we encourage students, let's say for instance, you're taking, a IT course and you've been working in that field for years, and you can demonstrate that you already have the information that's one of the courses that you have to take. go ahead and go through the portfolio process and get that requirement waived, and you'll be able to get 3 credit hours, all the way up to 24 credit hours. So a little bit about our advising system. This is another differentiator that I feel like makes SoPA special as opposed to other schools. We have advisors, and we do not share them with the rest of the university. So we have a whole advising group of advisors that are dedicated to our students. So not only do you get an advisor for your major, but you also an academic advisor, but you also get an advisor for your major, which is usually the program director. So you'll have a faculty member who's your program advisor. You'll have an academic advisor that's dedicated to you and not shared with the rest of the school. And then, of course, we also have other faculty that are available to meet with students and also be a source of support. So everybody gets 2 advisors. We also have our own career advisor who is located in our school, and we do not share her with the rest of the university. And she's available to students to help you with your resume, your LinkedIn page. She pushes out job announcements. Lots of industries within the state want to hire our students. And so they will send job postings directly to us, and she will push those out to the students so you get the first bite of the apple at applying for jobs. And she also will help you do mock interviews if you need to practice. And of course, you also have access to our alumni base, right? So it's easier to have a conversation in a job interview with a Tulane alum if you are a Tulane alum. All right, I am going to pass things over to my colleague, Hope.
Good evening, and I also want to thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to be with us. And thank you for your interest in SoPA. So I want to talk about the affordability of attending SoPA. Our current tuition rate of $576 per credit hour and the limited amount of fees assessed makes our price point different than Tulane and most of the and local universities in the city. So right now, SoPA offers 3 credit courses. And this summer, the current rate is, again, $576. Although our tuition rates and assessed fees are lower than Tulane's, financial aid is offered to those who qualify to offset your tuition costs. And so in addition to the federal financial assistance SoPA offer, we also offer 20% discount on tuition to different groups: active duty military, K through 12 instructional staff, New Orleans public employees, parish employees, PTK members that are attending 2-year schools, and that's just to name a few of them. But also, as Sheila mentioned earlier, that if you have any work or life experiences, you can also receive up to 24 credit hours towards your degree. And that in turn will save you money on your tuition. And our application process is straightforward. I think it's pretty straightforward. You would need to complete the application online, and you can find our application on our website at the very top of the page. Some of the things you'll need or require to complete your application is a government issued ID. You would need transcripts from any institution or all institutions you've attended, and a $40 application fee. But because you're attending tonight, that application fee will be waived. Now, if you've already paid your application fee, reach out to us and we will gladly refund that to you. Now, some of the things that we do not, that are not required to apply to SoPA, You do not need to submit an ACT score, an SAT score, nor do you need to submit any recommendation letters on your behalf. But if you have any questions regarding that process, at the end of the webinar, there will be an information link where you can contact us with any questions. So here's some important deadlines that you should really consider. Right now, we're accepting applications for the summer semester. The deadline to apply is May 1st, but with each application or each semester application term, I would just recommend that you not wait to the last minute or the deadline to complete that application, only because if you have to request or retrieve additional required documents for your admission process, then that just kind of puts you behind, and it's just really better to do it in advance. Now, on top of being early and completing that in advance, if you are to be enrolled by April 25th for the summer, then you're eligible for a one-time early enrollment scholarship, another way to save money. So in the spring, our deadlines are January 1st. That early enrollment deadline is December 1st. And then in the fall, it's August 1st. And the early enrollment to be eligible for that early enrollment scholarship is June 1st.
All right, so thank you, Hope. So those are some great deadlines. We are still accepting applications for summer. You still have time to get that in. You would have to start filling out your application now, but it is not extensive. Like Hope said, it's pretty straightforward, and you should be able to get it into us in the next, few days, 10 days or so. I will say the thing that probably takes the longest for the undergraduate application is getting your transcripts sent over. So I would request those right away. But like I said, we're still accepting applications. So my contact information is on the screen in front of you. Definitely email me. I know there's a phone number, but I'm not always at my desk, but you can always email me, because I'm answering emails even into the evening, sgold@tulane.edu. If there's any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can wait a minute or two. And if there's no questions, sometimes I know people get uncomfortable asking questions in a webinar format. You certainly can reach out and send us an email if you're more comfortable reaching out that way. So it does not look like anybody is putting anything in the chat. So with that said, I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. So with that said, we want to thank you all for being with us tonight. Please keep my contact information. And if you have any questions, I hope that we'll hear from you. And more importantly, I certainly hope that we will see your application for admission soon. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
I actually did have a question.
Oh, okay, great.
I was typing it, but it's kind of maybe a long-winded question. I just wanted to know, for the early registration scholarship, do you have to be fully registered for whatever classes you intend to take for
Yes.
like if I'm trying to take summer classes?
Yes, so that's where you actually get the scholarship, is when we see that you've registered for classes.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be every class, but you need to have registered for at least a class by the scholarship deadline.
Okay.
So that's actually a very good question. And you still have time. You have 6 more days.
I've already done an application.
Okay, and is it complete?
It is. It just said that I needed to pay the fee, but I attended this, so.
Oh, okay. All right, got it. All right, so you know what? I'm just gonna, because we're not a big group, I'm gonna look you up right now. Little did you know I was going to do that.
Sheila, I was actually doing that as well.
Okay, I actually don't, is your name the way that it's, oh, wait. Is this Scott?
Yes.
Okay, so it does say awaiting payment. And it looks like we have an LSU transcript. Is that the only transcript that we're waiting for?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and you are non-degree seeking?
Yes.
Okay, all right, well, we're gonna get your payment waived and we'll try and get that moved through for you in the next day or two so that we can get you an admissions decision and you can register in 6 days. We will do our best.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, any other questions?
Yeah, yes, hi. We are graduating high school in June, and we're thinking about taking some SoPA classes, especially in accounting area or things like that, maybe. We are not seeking to matriculate in Tulane or seeking a degree program. Do we need to still submit transcripts?
Yes. We need to know that you at least have completed, in order to take our classes, even if it's as a non-degree seeking student, which it sounds like that's what you're describing, we
Right.
at least need to see high school completion. So we would need to see a transcript from high school with a graduation date on it.
Okay.
Does it have to be sent by the school, or does it just have to be
Yes.
like authorized?
Yeah, we need it to be sent officially from the school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody. These were great questions. If you have any other ones, once again, feel free to email me, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.